If Disney ever decided to create the ultimate protagonist by combining every detail that made their heroines iconic into a single character, the result would probably be Rapunzel. She's not just a princess who sings about dreams or waits around for a happy ending. She makes things happen. She's sweet without being naive, strong without being harsh, hopeful without being foolish. She's got that charming glow of the classic princesses, but also a vibrant and layered personality like the more modern ones. And maybe that's why Tangled managed to capture so many hearts. From the very first moment she appears on screen, Rapunzel has something special. Her longing to see the floating lanterns isn't just a childish whim. It's a call from deep within her soul, an instinct she doesn't fully understand yet, but feels compelled to follow. She doesn't want to escape out of rebellion or just to defy Gothel. She wants to experience the world, to touch the grass, to feel the wind on her face. And that curiosity, that genuine desire to live and discover, is what makes her journey so powerful. Disney's greatest achievement with Tangled was taking the structure of a princess story and modernizing it without losing its essence. Rapunzel has that radiant optimism that reminds us of Snow White and Cinderella, but she's not waiting for a prince or some magical twist of fate to change her life. She creates her own chances, using her wit and charm to flip the script. Her first big move in the film isn't gazing out a window or singing about her dream, smacking a thief in the head with a frying pan and then forcing him to be her guide. And that alone says everything about who she is. And even though she grew up completely isolated in a tower, Rapunzel didn't become bitter. Quite the opposite. She sees beauty in everything. To her, the world is this fascinating place, full of possibilities. Her first time outside the tower is an emotional roller coaster. Excitement, fear, regret, joy. She literally rolls on the ground with happiness, and in the next second, bursts into tears for disobeying Gothel. And honestly, who hasn't felt like that when taking a big step in life? Disney nailed it by showing that being brave doesn't mean being 100% confident all the time. It means moving forward even when you're scared. But if there's one thing that makes Rapunzel one of Disney's most complex protagonists, it's her relationship with Gothel. And this is where the movie does something most children's films wouldn't dare touch: emotional abuse. Gothel isn't the kind of villain who yells or uses physical violence to keep Rapunzel locked away. She uses words as sharp as knives. From the very beginning, she convinces the girl she can't survive without her, that the outside world is too dangerous, too cruel, that no one will ever truly love her. The worst part? Gothel says all this with a smile, with a kiss on the forehead, with a, "I just want what's best for you." And that's terrifying, because it's real. And Rapunzel believes it. Of course she does, because Gothel is the only mother she's ever known, the only voice she's heard her entire life. That's why her journey isn't just about escaping a physical tower. It's about breaking free from the mental prison Gothel built around her. It's about realizing she was always strong enough, even when they did everything they could to make her believe she wasn't. And when we talk about strength, that's where Tangled shines even brighter. Rapunzel doesn't need to change who she is to become a heroine. She doesn't have to let go of her kindness or her hope. Her greatest weapon isn't the frying pan, even though she wields it with incredible precision. It's her inner light. What helps her win isn't aggression or brute force, but her ability to see beyond appearances, to turn enemies into allies, to believe in the best in people. And that's exactly what happens with Flynn Rider. At first, he's a self-centered thief who only cares about money. But without even trying, Rapunzel completely changes his outlook. She treats him with honesty, challenges him, makes him laugh, and most importantly, she sees him, not as a criminal, but as someone who has so much more to offer than even he realizes. And Flynn's transformation is one of the most genuine we've ever seen in a Disney love story. He doesn't change out of obligation or because of some forced romance. He changes because, for the first time, someone believes in him and brings out his best self. And when we get to the film's climax, when Gothel is finally exposed and Rapunzel finds herself completely powerless, that's when the most powerful moment of the whole story happens. Flynn, wounded and barely able to stand, chooses to cut her hair. Not to save her with magic, but to free her once and for all. And that detail makes all the difference. Because what he does isn't some classic heroic act where the hero defeats the villain with strength. It's a sacrifice. A true act of love, a literal and symbolic severing of the chains that kept Rapunzel trapped in Gothel's manipulation. And finally, she's free. Not just because Gothel turns to dust, but because for the first time, she belongs to herself. If we look at all the Disney protagonists, very few have a character arc as well developed as Rapunzel's. She starts off as a girl full of dreams, but without a real sense of who she is, and ends as a woman who has faced her fears, discovered her own strength, and redefined her destiny. She didn't have to become someone else to win. She just had to realize she was strong enough all along, and that's what makes her one of Disney's most complete protagonists, because she teaches us that bravery isn't the absence of fear, it's the choice to keep going despite it. That kindness isn't weakness, it's a powerful force. That yes, the world can be terrifying, but it's also beautiful, vast, and full of possibilities. And most of all, that sometimes the greatest dream we can have is discovering who we really are.